Hello, my friends, and welcome back to a continue playing Let's Play Homestuck for the PC. My name is the FlightlessBird. This is your story-based gaming channel, and today we are Scratch, page 3614. Let's go. I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic day today. You once again try to be Doc Scratch. Jesus, wait. This is so hard to read. And fail spectacularly. Okay, I guess we're not going to be Duck Scratch then. You can't be him no matter how hard you try. It is impossible. In fact, I think it would be for the best if I commandeer the narrative completely for a while. I trust you won't mind if I speak in white. It's not actually negotiable, but as a courtesy, I'll enclose my words between a pair of visually audible brackets. I'm doing this because, again, actually, that does help quite a lot. Thank you. Oh! Oh my god. I'm gonna be doing a lot of this. Does it show up in the recording that I'm highlighting? Let me know. I'll have to check. I'm doing this. I'm also doing it because I'm expecting a guest to arrive shortly. This should enable me to show the man the sort of hospitality he deserves, while doing the same for you. My apartment doesn't have a doorbell. Why would an omniscient fellow need to be alerted to the presence of a visitor? Yeah, that's true. I know he will be right on time, which is to say early. And if I did have a doorbell, you would have just witnessed it ring, because he is already here. Okay, I don't really see anything. I see a gun on a holster there. My door is not fitted with a peephole either. Those without eyes or without limits to their knowledge have no need for peeping. And I am without either. I have never once peeped at or through something. I doubt I ever will. Apertures built into physical surfaces to reveal what's hidden behind them are for those with particular handicaps. They are for those lacking advanced vision to render the opaque permeable the light, or those lacking advanced knowledge to render the concealed information irrelevant, or both. They are for people who I call suckers. I know the identity of anyone who stands behind this door, even in those cases where I have not extended an invitation to the visitor personally. Pardon me while I let Jack inside. This is old school Jack right here. Did you not believe it would be Jack? I mean, who else would it be? Someone who would have been suspected anyone else as a person I would also describe as sucker. Haha, hee hee, ho ho. Hello, Slick. Won't you please clock? Oh, for heaven's sake. Jack? Stop it. Jack? Slick? Which would I prefer I call you? It's one of the strange points of uncertainty which surrounds you. Maybe it is that you don't particularly care. Your flair is for the plain and serviceable, isn't it? Not much of your vanity is tied up in a name, I guess. Are not going to tell me? Fine. I won't tell you my name either. Well, I might. If you would just show some manners and stop hitting me with that ridiculous horse hitcher. I will crack no matter how senseless a drubbing. If only it were that simple. You're not going to stop, are you? It'll be very difficult to discuss our points of mutual interest like this. I was prepared to go about it in a civilized way, even though I know very well I would spend the first several minutes of our meeting sitting on the floor while being flogged. I have even prepared a bowl of candy for you, which I know you will enjoy. I mean, courtesy is important, Jack. Do you have anything at all to say? Any form of communication you care to attempt behind the sound iron that makes against my head repeatedly? No, of course not. What did you just rip it off or something? What's that? I see. You think you already know my name. You do not know my real name, Jack. Just as none of your adversaries on this planet knows yours. You only know my nickname. And it's a good nickname too. Befitting of the passive gunslinger charged with initiating the break. I am my master's weapon. His soldier in a war of one bullet fired. But when that bullet clears the barrel, it won't be my finger on the trigger. I'm a facilitator, not an assassin. Can't. There we go. Here, Jack. Why don't you go help yourself to some candy over there on the table? There is something I need to take care of before we continue. I won't be long. Okay. Is that black licorice? Because I can't stand black licorice. It looks like a bunch of alien with teeth or something. He's just pocketing them. Yes, good. Placate yourself with the Scotty dog, Slick. My supply is bottomless. I am an excellent toast. Don't put him in his hat. When I am finished with this minor interruption, we will resume our gentlemanly negotiation. I will proceed to beat you severely until you agree to do what I ask. I trust you won't take it personally. Now, excuse me, I have to talk to a teenage girl from another universe. Is this gonna be Rose or Jade? Be a teenage girl from another universe. Hey, what's up? You cannot be a teenage girl from another universe because you're too busy being a teenage girl from this universe. You are busy being Rose Lalonde, completely preoccupied with it, in fact. So preoccupied you have neglecting messages from some of your friends who are trying to contact you. But you have a lot of important stuff to do. You will get back to them later. Rose, pester informant. I don't really see anything up here. Oh, that's because it's oh jeez. Why do you do this? It's so hard to read. It's quite warm here on the Hawk. I think I'm impatient enough. When will I receive further instruction? Now. So, I could have contacted you at any time? No, only now. It's a little bit brighter, but still. I came away with the impression from our last conversation that our next would take place on your invitation. I was being polite by waiting. Your inevitability and patience caused you to contact me again. Inevitability is my invitation. That's pretty smug. I am right to be smug. I am omniscient, extremely powerful, and very charming. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Can you use your limitless intelligence to figure out which ones I mean? Well, that was clever. If I plead ignorance to the fact that you are denying my charisma, it invalidates my claim of omniscience. But if I must adhere to all my knowing status, it forces me to validate the unfortunate reality that you are feigning the opinion that my demeanor is unpalatable. Not that it matters, because I have all 3 qualities and you know it. This is stupid. Could we get to the point? Yes, I was about to say, we should hurry this along. My visitor is beginning to set things on fire. You have a visitor? Who? It's just some guy. I was joking anyway. I am not in a hurry at all. You tell jokes? Yes. So your visitor isn't setting anything on fire then? Oh, he most definitely is. I'm really not getting this joke. I was joking about being in a hurry. From my perspective, this conversation has taken place in less than 1 second. I type very quickly. Ho ho. I thought you didn't lie. Our jokes are essentially humorous lies. At least those the ones that you just attempted. Jokes are only temporary lies. If the falsehood is never exposed, there is no punchline. If the punchline is never delivered, the lie is sealed forever. Regardless of initial humorous intent, lies are not funny. I think if you're going to risk tarnishing your record of honesty, you should probably get better material. My joke was objectively funny. I mean, who would know better than I? Okay, so you're saying an accurate statement doesn't count as a lie as long as you're just kidding later. Basically. What if it's much later? Is it still just a joke? Well, no. That would be something closer to a prank. I don't play pranks very often. Are you allowed to lie about playing pranks? If I asked you if you were playing a prank on me, would you, tell the truth? Well, I am allowed to do whatever I want. I just choose never to lie. I also choose to tell jokes now and then, and to play pranks quite sparingly. But I could say that I have never played a prank on you, and no statement I have made to you thus far, or will make in the conversation, will contain any trace of falsehood for the sake of setting up a joke or a prank, with the exception of the joke I just made, and another one I will make very soon. I am starting to change my mind. Oh? Yes, I think your joke was funny in retrospect. Actually, your whole shtick is pretty good. I'm warming up to it. Yes, I knew it. Just to be clear, was the assurance you just made a prank or a joke? Well, it was neither. It was the truth. Was that? Yes. The truth? Yes. Okay. Were you serious about wanting to die? Yes. Why? I'll tell you later. Why? Because you asked. But why now? Because that piece of information will not fit elegantly into the sequence of our exchange at this moment. Then you know how this entire conversation will go? Why, yes. Is that true of all conversations that you have? Yeah. I tell briefly, I don't. But the dark spots never last long. The truth disguises itself to me sometimes, which can be mildly frustrating, but it usually reveals itself quickly, much as if a punchline was delivered. It's a humorous dialogue I have with reality and is very amusing. Then why do you bother with the conversations? Obligation to predestination as usual. There is no obligation. It's a pleasure. It is. I've always had a soft spot for young ladies. That's a little creepy. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Well, it kind of is. I have looked into the future and determined that we would continue in this manner pointlessly for some time, so I am putting an end to it here. That doesn't make sense. Was that the other joke? Yes. Haha, good one. Why, thank you. How young are the ladies you typically take a shiny to? And does this mean you are attracted to me? Starting this conversation is kinda terrible. Well, of course I am not. Not in the way you mean. And anyway, you are applying standards of conduct frowned upon for your kind, which make no sense to apply to me. I am an immortal entity with a large cue ball head for a head, and no biological means of reproduction. Oh, the dots. Really? Also, if you were millions of years old, you would find that nearly every lady you encounter, well, it is quite young, relatively speaking. There should be no reason for you to feel uncomfortable with this interaction. Try to think of me as one of your kindly human uncle figures. In fact, if I were in your presence now, I would offer you candy to prove it. Oh my god. What? Can we talk about the scratch instead of this? Yes. Whoa, look at that. You are situated near the game construct supplied by your session for causing this scratch, yes? Are you actually asking? Well, no, that was a fact. Well, then a question mark. Ah, well, yes, I am. It's a large plateau shaped like a record. It's called the Beat Mesa. I know. Is the same construct different in other sessions? Uh, yeah. It will always be an edifice of similarly cryptic design, located on the planet that is home to the hero of time. Its environment dictates the nature of its construction. Its power is dangerous and is meant to be utilized only in emergencies such as yours. You mean in sessions where victory is no longer possible? Yes. Due to creating an unstoppable adversary who triggers the reckoning prematurely, is that sort of emergency common? No. But failure is common. The composition of yours is quite atypical. Okay, then it's like a panic button for the players to push once they realize the cause is lost. Yeah, but causing the scratch is not an easy task either. The construct must be destroyed in a very specific way to release its energy. The keeper of my ectobiological father began the process. It must be finished. Who? The guardian of the night of time. Days, bro. Yes. How do I finish it? You don't. Well, not you personally. Another will. You have something more important to attend to, remember? Oh, right. The green. Wait. The green sun. Yes. I plan to take care of that later. Once John had received the tumor. Tumor. Whatever. Your plan will have to change. You aren't ready to cause a scratch yet. Like I said, it's difficult. What will the one who does it have to do? I should let them know. He will have to scratch the surface of the plateau across its full diameter. I see. This terminology can be very literal sometimes. You will require a certain needle to create a breach in the surface that will be adequate. I have needles. Your needles won't suffice. Then where do I get the ones that will? Again, you won't. This task is like out of your hands. The needles must be acquired from the denizen of the Witch of Space. Her quills are very large and potent. They will be able to cause the scratch. This really seems more elaborate than you lead me to believe. I didn't lead you to believe anything. I told you to find the construct and await advisement on the scratch. The plans you were making were based on assumptions and fabrications of your imagination. You were writing more stories, much like those about your false magical men. I wish what I'd written in my private journals could be confined to your dark spots. I don't. I find your stories entertaining. You're being creepy again. No, I'm not. Besides, the White King agrees with me. What? For a seer, your vision of events surrounding you is rather limited. It's charming. Just please stop complimenting me. No. Whoa! Oh, look at this. This is crazy. Fine. Then please at least try to sound more sarcastic when you do it. Oh, sure. I'm really going to do that. Yes, very likely. Then the scratch will be implemented later by either John or Dave, I presume. He used a male pronoun. Yes. I guess it makes sense that it would happen later. My understanding is that Jack will not be banished from the session until the near end of the reckoning. Yes, Jack will exit your session later. But this has nothing to do with the scratch. Well, not directly, as you imply. I don't understand. I thought that was the point of the scratch. To open a rift in space-time, as it were, and banish him into the troll session. No, that's not the purpose of the scratch at all. The scratch does not open a rift in space-time. Well then, what are you directing me to cause it? Does that have something to do with enabling you to die? No, not directly. The scratch has nothing more to do with my death than any other single event ultimately contributing to my demise. I think it's disingenuous for you to behave as if I had not been misled. You say you don't lie, but what about lies of omission? Lies of omission do not exist. The concept is a very human one. It is a product of your story writing again. You have written a story about the truth, making emotional demands of it, and in particular of those in possession of it. Your demands are based on a feeling of entitlement to the facts, which is very childish. You can never know all the facts, only I can. And since it's impossible for me to reveal all the facts to you, it is my discretion alone that decides which facts will be revealed to the infinite time that we have. If I do not volunteer information you deem critical to your fate, it is possible means that I am a scoundrel. But it does not mean that I am a liar. And it certainly means you didn't ask the right questions. One can make either true statements or false statements about reality. All of the statements I make are true. Unless you're joking. Uh, yes. Ha 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 ha. Hee hee hee. Ho ho. Exactly. Then I guess I'll start asking better questions. Good. I will make a seer of you yet. Will you? Oh, yes. I mean, you could start by showing up the reliability of your sources. You proceed to question me, believing you understand the purpose of the scratch. You received your information about it from trolls. I assure you that in most ways, the trolls are as confused about everything as you are. Okay, noted. What exactly does the scratch do then? It resets the game. Oh, that's it? Well, yes. Then we all start from the beginning again, when John entered. No. The release of temple energy will be quite massive. This is a hard reset. It will reboot the conditions in your universe well before you begin playing the game. You will have lived different lives after the reset. The different initial conditions will ideally lead to more favorable scenario in the new session. Unfortunately, you will have no memory of anything that has happened in the session you are in now. That's actually a really good thing. Because take it like this, okay? Let's say you reset the game and you lose all memory of your reset. Now there's a couple of philosophies that you could prescribe to. But one of the philosophies that most likely would happen is the one that's, I think it's called determinism, which basically says 10 out of 10 times you would always make this choice. There's no way you would have made a different choice because your past led you to choose the thing you're going to choose, and you're always going to choose that thing. So if I grew up hating vegetables but loving hamburgers, when I go to dinner, I'm always going to choose the hamburger over a salad. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but just go with me and just nod your head like I'm the smartest person alive, which I totally am not. So, yeah, I'm trying to do my best to explain this. But anyway, the point is, if we went back and reset the game, and if every condition was the same, and if we had no memory of the choices that we made that led us up to the decisions that we're making now, then 100% of the time, we would do the exact same things. Which means, if we do the scratch, we'd be in an eternal time loop where every single time we'd be doing the same thing, which means we'd be resetting the game. And then we come up here and then we reset the game. Then we come here, then we reset the game. And we'd be stuck in this giant loop. So the idea that we've lived different lives would mean that when we got to this point in the second loop, it wouldn't be the same loop. There would be radical differences that would have happened. I hate to use the Bravely Default metaphor here because I don't know if y'all have seen the Bravely Default playthrough on the channel, but the idea is that different realities would effectuate different results. And if we go into a different reality, that's going to change the end result. I hope I'm following this, and I hope I didn't make everyone like incredibly glossed over here because I'm not good at explaining these things. I'm pretty sure Intro will explain this very well in its description below. But this would be a good thing as far as I can see. It would be a good thing that we don't remember, so that way we're not making the same choices. That way Jack doesn't become immortal, and this time we'll be able to defeat him. Yeah. What will happen to us? Everyone in this session now. You will all cease to exist completely if you remain here during this scratch. Well, yeah, that's the bad thing, isn't it? The people who are in this time or this reality would just suddenly blip out of existence, right? This seems familiar. It reminds me of when Dave and I were trapped in the Doom timeline and he left to change the past. The timeline ceased to exist, along with my dream self, who in the way became merged with my dream self in this timeline. I have some of her memories. Is this situation similar? Similar, but more severe. Missed a text here. Since this timeline will undergo such a violent upheaval, such a merger of memory cannot happen. You will be resigned to absolute oblivion, unless you can discover a way to preserve yourselves. But it's not really my place to advise you on that. After you have dealt with the scratch and the sun, what happens to you is not any of my business. Now, this would be kind of scary because is he saying that we effectively just die or we're put into a state of oblivion? Like, are we just left in a bubble where nothing else exists except us for all eternity? And we're just stuck there in the void? It's like that Futurama episode where Gary Gygax gets stuck with the Futurama crew and he rolls up a Dungeons and Dragons game because nothing else to do. It's kind of like that. Aw, look at our little friend. He wants to go play snowballs. Then can you at least tell me if I will be successful in preserving ourselves after the reset? I don't particularly enjoy spoiling things for people when unnecessary. I find speaking in a discreet color helps avoid this. So the scratch isn't specifically meant to banish Jack from the session, and our quest to destroy the sun is meant to kill him. Why is the reset necessary at all, especially if it means oblivion for us? Because you cannot achieve the ultimate reward in this session. Your battlefield is cancerous, and the reckoning will destroy it prematurely regardless. By resetting, you will create a session which can bear the fruit of a new universe, even if you will not be the ones to claim the reward. Don't you want to fulfill your purpose? I guess, but it's a little disheartening to learn that I'm now faced with not one but two suicide missions at once. One to destroy Jack's power source and to defend all existence, and another to ensure our cosmic progeny at the price of oblivion. Well, that frames the dual objectives accurately. But if you are inventive, you may find a way to survive the reset and participate in the new renewed session. It's up to you. Just as it's up to you to face the decision to claim immortality before you enter your creation. Immortality? Yes. Do you mean ascending to the god tier? Yes. I have reason to believe that I won't. The trolls have not indicated I will die on my quest bed, or that any of us will aside from John. Instead, I've given a more troubling and ambiguous forecast. What have I said about confirming the reliability of your sources? Are you saying I will? No. Oh, well, will I? It seems you'd like me to do some more fortune telling. Fine. Maybe this question will suit you better. Is it probable? Well, that's a strange question to ask someone who's omniscient and therefore knows outcomes with 100% certainty. I like it. Well, then what's your answer? You have exactly a 50% chance of ascending to the god tier. That's a strange answer. Yeah, a 50-50 means you have an equally chance of no as yes. That's not really an answer. I know. Well, that doesn't help. Why such a precise probability? Because, much like the decisions you must face to complete your dual suicide missions, you have two ways of achieving godhood to choose from. Two ways? By dying on the questbed on my planet and some other way? Yes. Is there another questbed somewhere? Good guess, Seer. Where? What difference does it make? You already know where the first one is. You have the choice to go there right now and take your own life. Well, that's true. Of course it is. You mentioned immortality. Godhood makes one immortal. Yes. A god tier will live forever with no caveats. No. One will live forever, unless killed. The death must either be heroic or just. How are those terms defined? Broadly, mysteriously, and according to the case of the individual. One may be killed by opposing a corrupt adversary and die for a just cause, as though martyrdom, for instance. This would be heroic. One may be subject to corruption and slain by a hero. This would be just. What sort of death will you have when I destroy the sun? Well, neither. I'm not a god. I'm a guardian, a servant, and a weapon. I have power and knowledge far surpassing a god, but I am not one. Is this when you are going to tell me why you want to die? Yes. I sense it's not just because you're getting bored with immortality. Well, that's good. Your vision is becoming clearer. Then why? My master can't enter this universe until I am killed. Such is the nature of this break. That almost sounds like martyrdom. Are you sure it won't be a hero's death? Quite sure. My master is a very evil man. Who is he? I won't tell you his name, but he goes by the title Lord English. Look at the eye. So he wants to die so his master can enter the universe. That's not creepy at all. No. The little guy just wants to throw snowballs. I love this little guy. I love the little guys. They just make me smile all the time, and he's just so innocent. Oh, he's wearing like a drape that has a green sun on it too. Look at that. This doesn't sound like an especially admirable objective. Releasing an evil man who is presumably more powerful than you, an already omnipotent being. Am I right? You are right about both. It is not admirable, and he is considerably more powerful. But you must decide which objective is more important. You may decide to attempt to destroy the sun and end my life. This will neutralize Jack, who is also much more powerful and dangerous than myself by virtue of the ring he wears. In addition to drawing energy from the same sun as I, he poses a significant threat to reality. But in the process of killing him and you, I release your master, who is just as deadly. He's more deadly. But the danger he poses is sanctioned by paradox space. It is a known quantity. His very existence in a universe will mean it will inevitably be torn apart. But there are rules to his entry, and his grim procession through paradox space is rather orderly. The present equilibrium has accounted for him, and it will continue to. Jack, however, is a loose cannon. He will not stop until he destroys everything he encounters. Additionally, his existence is your responsibility. Then I guess I don't have a choice. But you do. Also, know this. Refusing to venture out to destroy the sun in no way spares anyone from my master regardless. It is certainly true that destroying it will end my life. And it is certainly true that the tumor you will deliver to its location has enough power to destroy it completely. But it is not the only way to kill me. It is simply a way I have suggested to you, which doubles as a way to disarm Jack, should you choose to go through with it. Instances of myself has spawned in countless universes, and my objective is always the same. I have never once failed to complete this objective, and I never will. There is nothing noble about taking a course of action you believe would prevent his arrival, because that is impossible. He will come. In fact, he is already here. Are you saying that will succeed in the mission to destroy the sun? Are you asking for another palm reading? You seem rather keen on acquiring a fortune from me, considering you are the one with the crystal ball. I'm only just trying to ask as many questions as I can. It's the only way to find the dark spots in your obstinacy. I've been very helpful, and I will continue to be. I myself do not care to be an oracle, but I can graciously supply you with one. Can you? An eager consort has brought you one of my seeds. It appears you have a mass of followers who wish to please you. How fortuitous. Your seeds? The white orb. Oh, the cue ball. How did I not notice this? Oh, that's not a snowball? I thought that was a snowball. Aww. It is still adorable. Well, it will accurately answer any question a curious girl can pose, provided she can see through the surface to read its reply. Is that possible? Is it, Seer? Given your title and all the tools of prognostication at your disposal, it seems to me I should be the one asking you the questions. Examine the cue ball. How can I see through it? It seems you weren't listening, so I will state this again in the form of a question. Don't you think I should be asking the questions from now on? Yes, if you want it to be disingenuous and irritating. Don't you think a clever person should be able to acquire information from someone who only asks questions? Then it's a challenge. I pass. Do you have a choice? What if I'm feeling a bit stubborn? Okay, so what you mean is I should continue humoring your leading questions until you happen to ask certain rhetorical questions that contain information that I need. Was that a question? That was a fact, and then a period. How does the seer see? With a crystal ball? I already considered that. I don't think I can get the focus of the ball to zoom in tight enough on cue ball's enclosure to read the answers. How else does she see? By other magical means, I guess. Should I use magic? Do you believe in magic? Magic is real. I've been using it. Are you sure? Use whatever word you want to describe it. I have magic wands. They are very powerful, and they allow me to be magic. Your questions are silly. What makes you convinced the wands are responsible for your abilities? Because I did not have the abilities before I made them. Could this be circumstantial? Could it? Is there an echo? Is there an echo? I don't know what you're getting at. How about another leading question? What did you combine to make those wands? Some stuff. Knitting needles. An inexpensive figurine of some fictional fellow with long whiskers. A simple textbook on the zoologically dubious. Why would this mundane combination of objects grant a child such an alarming mastery over dark forces all at once? I'm guessing this is one of the rhetorical questions meant to be so informative. So then, my answer should affirm how ridiculous that sounds, shouldn't it? Maybe. Well, that wasn't even a question. Yes, it was. Okay, so magic is fake. The wands are useless toys. And there is something else going on. Next question. Would it be so difficult to believe the power you found to devastate your planet and create shortcuts through your session is not entirely by your own device? Would it be so difficult to believe a young lady could be unwittingly apprenticed by more powerful entities who meant her potential to be realized later enough through some arbitrary trigger? What would you say if I said a dutiful girl raised in the daylight was protected by a bulb-headed guardian and learned to glow in the dark after death? What would you say if I said a vengeful boy on the path of nihilism was taken under the wings of fearsome angels and learned to destroy hope with their light? What would you say if I said a reserved girl enamored by what dwelt in shadow was selected by the horror terrors for service and did their bidding at every step while convinced of her own autonomy? What would I say to these short fables? Not much, except I gather the third is a story about me, and that there's a lesson you'd like me to take from it. That I should renounce my allegiance before my grimdark corruption is absolute. And while I'm at it, I should discard those useless wands, because apparently the power was in my little black heart all along. Is that right? Won't you have to give up your specabus to be the one who causes the scratch regardless? How else will the young man wield that great big needle? I don't know, if you say so. Haven't your friends already shown concern for your recklessness and your increasing sense of detachment from the party, the team objectives, and not to mention those of your personal quest? Does this worry you? Is there a part of you left that's able to worry? Yes, it has been mysteriously localized to my middle finger. Could the dark magics be at work again? My middle finger. Do you deny that you have been neglecting incoming messages from your teammates? Would that be in keeping with the spirit of the human emotion of friendship for one whose soul was not so befouled by the designs of unknowable monstrosities? Friendship isn't an emotion, numbnuts. Isn't it, Rose? Isn't it? I've been busy. I'll get back to them. And can we please stop doing the patronizing question thing? In exchange, I promise I will discontinue my patronizing responses. Can the omniscient be patronized? The omnipotent can do whatever they please. I guess I'm just asking you nicely to do me this favor. Very well. I'll stop smothering you with surprise noodles. Huh? But only because I find you to be adorable. So creepy. So cute. Yuck. I'm going to ask the same question I asked earlier. Please do not regard it as a violation of my pledge. It is just an ordinary question, like those that crop up in an ordinary conversation. Okay. How does a seer see? I don't know. Be literal. With her eyes. Take the orb. Ask it a question. I don't know what to ask anymore. I'm confused. What would you ask me? I would ask, what should I do next? Well, then ask. What should I do next? Not me. The ball, you dummy. Ask. Magic ball. What should I do? Whoa! That was cool. Oh, it's coming through. Answer Jade. Answer. Sorry for the delayed response. Answering seems to be what to do right now. Rose? Jeez, finally. You sure seem to be absorbed in whatever you're doing on that computer. Were you talking to someone? Oh, right. I forgot to give you the code for the crystal ball. And here I was thinking I could safely delay responding to messages without seeming like a butt. The way it usually works. Oops. Oh, no. I don't blame you for not responding. You must be very upset. Are you okay? Why would I be upset? Because, I figured you would have found out by now, but I guess you still don't know? Know what? About John's dad and your mom. Rose? Hello? Oh no. Oh, oh my god. Poor girl. Rose, please say something. You are making me nervous. I should have gone looking for her. Why didn't I? Because you're busy trying to make the best of this situation? John was too, but he went to look for his father. It would have been normal of me. I can't remember what I was trying to prove anymore. I don't think you should be so hard on yourself about it. John was being John, and you were being you, which I guess meant taking our problems very seriously and putting all our attention on solving them. And anyway, you and your mom had a much trickier relationship than John and his dad, didn't you? I mean, not that I'm saying that means you weren't any less attached to her than him. Arg, I don't know if I'm very good at consoling people. Sorry, Rose. I don't want to make you feel worse. You're doing fine. For someone raised by a dog. Or really, anyone. Thanks. Ooh, okay. You know, now that we have lost all guardians, Dave lost his, and I lost mine in a weird way. Um, Even though that was pretty much definitely my fault, and even the trolls all lost their monster guardians, I think that maybe it is an inevitable part of the game that can be cruel sometimes. For some reason, despite all the danger, I never thought that she was in trouble. I never believed that she would actually die. I grew up with the feeling that something more significant had always been meant for her, that she was a heroine displaced in some way, resigned to the inglorious duty of raising me and preparing me in her way. I didn't actually need the ectobiological verification that she was like a mother and sister at the same time. I always understood that somehow, and I felt she had knowledge and ability beyond what was let on. It was always intimidating, but nonetheless a source of respect which was childishly begrudging on my part. I think she was just waiting for me to catch up with her, but now I can't. Ah, I am so sad. Rose, I think you are being stronger about it than I am. Probably because my emotions have now ceded to anger. This shouldn't have happened. Oh? Well, I just hope you aren't thinking of doing anything rash. I already was. I was going to go to sleep, fly to a sun bigger than our universe, drop a bomb in it, and kill myself. Yeah? So if my course of action is to change on account of my mood, it can only become less impetuous, don't you think? I don't know. You never liked my plan very much anyway. Well, no. But I was trusting you had thought it through and it was our last best hope. I'm not sure if I did. Maybe it was a terrible plan. I made it without a full understanding of the nature of the scratch. Hmm? What will you do then? I could stop being so cowardly for once. I could short circuit this endlessly expanding game of chess we're playing, just like Jack decided to do. What does that mean? Maybe I will go kill Jack myself, right now. Oh, no, 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 no! Rose, that is a much, much worse plan. He would probably kill you. Probably. But the scratch will wipe us out anyway, and reboot the conditions of our session. I suddenly don't feel much like sneaking through the back door of the farthest ring to retribution by distant supernova. I know what you mean. I was angry at Jack and wanted to stop him too. But we have to think of a more sensible way to do it. Whether my existing plan was sensible or not, I may have been allowing myself to be manipulated by omniscient being regardless. Wait, who? Hello, ladies. Ah! What? I would love to do this in the voice of was it Val Venus from WWE? Hello, ladies. I don't know if I can, but anyway. This is a private conversation. Private even to those who know word for word already. Proceed. I will be here, watching. Rose? Who is this? Ignore him. I don't even know what's going on anymore. You were discussing Miss Lalonde's intrepid new variation on killing herself. As one with a passion for the subject, I'm intrigued. Shh. Anyway, if it's true that the gods have selected me for service, maybe the power they give me all along will be sufficient. Maybe they wanted me to kill him all along. Hehe. Shh. Please don't, Rose. I know you are angry, but you aren't thinking straight. But I am. I'm fully aware I'll probably die and fail. Scratch happens. We start fresh. No recollection, no problem. No! Jade, as an ambassador of Skya, maybe you'd be willing to talk some sense into your friend. You should understand she's been corrupted by various entities with some rather questionable motives. Rose, maybe White Text Guy is right. I love the White Text Guy. The Dark Gods give you all these powers and seem to be helping us with the dream bubbles and stuff. But what if they are not actually good? They are enormous, ugly, and live in darkness. That doesn't necessarily make them bad. No, but I still don't trust them. If only there were a way to make this determination with certainty through a reliable source within reach. For instance, at this exact moment, perhaps one that is spherical and devastatingly handsome. What's this weirdo talking about? The Cuba. Oh, yeah. I noticed you found it. I was worried it had been destroyed when my room blew up. Is he saying you can use it? Yes, and he is right. OMG? Does it work? It advised me to talk to you just now. So I guess so. Then maybe you should try it. Yes, Rose, listen to Jade. She is far less manipulative than I. Ha ha ha. What are you suggesting I ask it? Well, since we don't know much about the gods, why don't you ask it about them? So you're saying I should ask it if the gods are evil? I guess that's a way to put it. Even though at this point neither of you is highlighting my text to read it, this idea gets my vote. Hey, I'm highlighting your text. Go ahead, ask, Seer. Seer, ask. Let's go. Toby Radiation Fox. Oh. Whoa! What was that? I was like a blink if you miss it. Thankfully, you guys can go and pause it. Yeah, you can just go back and hit pause and see whatever the heck that was. Because I can't make that my thumbnail, but I definitely want to see what that is, a closer view. The previous page originally did not have music. The music track you heard was made for that page, but it was left unused for unknown reason. This mod restored the track. Oh, how about that? Very cool. Is this an actual page number? So was this page added to the mod? And if so, does that make this mod different from every other Homestuck version where everything's a page off? Rose, go dark. Oh. Hello. You slip into the fabled Black Death trance of the woke Gothics, quaking all the while in the blood eldritch throes of the blood-festered tongues. You advise the members of your complacency not to be alarmed, as they chronicle the event in tomes bound in the tanned, writhing flesh of tortured Hell Scholar, with runes stroked and the black tears bled from the corruption-weary eyes of 50,000 imaginary occultists. But they fail to not be alarmed. Poor guys. Whoa! This is because, as now painfully obvious to anyone with a brain, you have basically gone completely off the deep end in every way. You have officially gone grim dark. This is the urge to seek revenge. Oh. You make a half-hearted attempt to resist the urge. Alas, one is not easily shaken from the blood-festered tongues. 100%. They are stubborn throws. The big man requests timeout. What? Retweet! Lava. Alright, homies, everybody hold up. The big man wants to take a timeout. Wreak some havoc. The big man's about to wreak some havoc in the yard. Just fly in the background. The co-ant is on fire! Request ruler. Dude, come get the ruler. Check this out. Dude, hurry. Look, she's escaping from above. Okay, dude, no. Caution! Okay, and how am I going to wreak some havoc in the yard with a meter, you chump? Ha ha ha. Again with their metric system. What is it even? With you and units, man? It's like every American and every European is like, dude, metric is so much better. Yeah, I know. I've had these conversations with friends. It's always funny. It's just like you must be token up on a joint to make you stop stone or something. I can't even think of who leaves there with all the rings lying around like that. It is so infuriating. Darn it, where's the manager? Dude, no, let me show you. No. 8.56 centimeters. No! Dude, you gotta stop it. Both ways. Stop. I was at that point when he got distracted by the authors. Hot self-insert. Were you expecting Easter Bunny? Oh, look at the little guy recycling. You probably want to know how involved the big man wants to get into the story. How much will he screw this up? Well, off, I gotta say that biz. Woof, want to know? I want to know. Tell me, and please be smug about it. Oh my god, how do I read this? Alright, as the indulgent self-inserts grow in frequency, you may find yourself increasingly afraid that my direct interference with canonical events approaches inevitability. But you should understand I am dealing with forces which, handled recklessly, will nullify the basic ability of intelligent beings in all real and hypothetical planes of existence to give a darn. It would be stupid of me to mismanage these forces, and even stupid of you to worry about it, because it would be stupid for you to think I was stupid. In fact, I feel a little dumber just thinking about it. When the time comes, I will interact directly with the events of this narrative, but this moment will be responsibly confined to a passive intervention and will be compact, surgical, and essential. My involvement will have such precision, I have even managed to quantify it in the units of physical measurement. I will be involved in which narrow corridor of space through which light will pass in 3 nanoseconds. My window of influence, 1 to end, will be exactly 1 yard. Alright, anyway, let's get back to John. John, locate tumor. Alright, so this is where I'm going to be calling it a day, my friends. I want to say thank you for everything. Much love to you. I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic, amazingly awesome day. As we're going to go locate the tumor in our next episode of Homestuck for the PC. And until then, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.